good afternoon, as the case may be. This is Bruce Brynsma, and I'm speaking to you from the CAPO conference in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. All the background that you're hearing is the 2,000 people that are here that are concerned about issues of fostering and how that actually can happen and the need that is there, the growing need that is there. Matter of fact, as I reflect a little bit upon the whole issue of fostering and kids who've been traumatized, I think back 20 plus years when a 4 and a 5-year-old young man and woman, young boy and girl, showed up at the Brynsma household. And they had been found scavenging in for their food in the middle of the night in the garbage containers in the area where they lived. Their mother had abandoned them. And so we had just gone through our training and were new foster parents, and they showed up. And our daughter, Bethany, I just remember bringing out her doll and wanting to give it to the 5-year-old girl that was there. And she was just absolutely petrified. And so it took a day or two for them to begin to integrate into our family. And that started a 10-year relationship with them, because in the state of Oregon, is where we lived at that point in time, you could not adopt someone that you were fostering. Really dumb rule, but that was the case. And so the background that Judy and I have in seeing the need for foster parents and for them to stay connected. We were able to stay connected for 10 years, which was really unusual. As a matter of fact, all the statistics are that foster parents, 70% of them only last for a year or less. And that in fact, if there is support for them, the statistics change dramatically, and that they stay in their fostering relationship for up to 3 years. And so that can make a huge difference. For those of you that are not aware, there's about 400,000 children that are in the foster system across the United States. There are about 115,000 of them that in fact need foster homes today. When I think about the role of the church in blessing the community, one of the things that I think of is that we should be able to bless our community with additional foster parents and then with support for them. So where's that support going to come from? Well, as best we can tell, one of the key places for support can come from those seniors in our congregation and in our society. There's about 48 million Christ followers that are part of what it is that it means to be a follower of Jesus. And as best we can tell, of those 48 million, there's a large number of them that in fact have not taken a step to be a part of building the kingdom or blessing the community. So I want to just give you a couple of websites that you can go to get some additional information before I share some additional information with you. First of all, it's Retirement Reformation /Wrap-Around. And there you're going to find a wonderful white paper that lays out all kinds of information for you that I think will be encouraging as well as instructive. Now, that's the website for individuals who say, maybe God is calling us, or maybe we know someone to be a foster parent, and we can be a wraparound foster grandparent. So what's that website again? Retirement Reformation /Wrap-Around. Now, in order to do that, when in fact you connect with us and we put you through some training to give you some insight in terms of what it is that you might possibly be doing, we're looking to build a network of foster care organizations around the country. And so if you are or could be a part of the foster care support network, the Legacy of Love network, that website is Retirement Reformation /Wrap-Around-network. If you could be a part of the network and support, then in fact you should go there. So let's just back up a little bit and let's kind of talk about what in fact it means and why are we calling it the Legacy of Love. The primary reason why we're calling it the Legacy of Love is that as I read my scriptures, God's love endures forever. And it's part of our responsibility to be able to reflect that love in ways that will make a difference, an impact in others' lives. And so, therefore, the legacy of love and the opportunity that you will have if God calls you to, and if you're open and to participating with perhaps a couple of other senior couples to be a community that will support a foster family. Judy and I are looking forward to being part of a community like that very, very soon. So let's join together in what we do. So what are some of the challenges that, and to kind of give us a thought about what it is, why it is that we're doing what we're doing, what are some of the challenges that face foster children? If you have not been connected with those issues, either or tangentially, sometimes it's kind of hard for us to understand what's the problem that we're trying to solve, and that is on God's heart. Of course, when Jesus said, widows, orphans, yeah, he knew all the way back then that we were going to have this issue now, and have had it continuously, and the church can in fact have a major impact. But first of all, they're separated from, in some cases missing, some cases they're glad they're separated from, but they're missing their biological family. In the case of the boy and girl, the brother and sister that were part of our family as we fostered them for that 10-year period, it was amazing how they really understood the traumas that their mother would go through. And they never took on the responsibility for any of that because they didn't have any responsibility for that, but that's not normal. And so missing their biological family. Then you have the issues of because their relationships have been broken, that in fact they're looking for a way to be able to make strong connections. And so those very, very strong connections with a foster family and with supporting grandparents is a critical challenge that they face. Then you've got in most of the states, their desire is to be able to put the foster children back with their biological family. And so the prospect of reunification, sometimes the trauma that they experience that created the separation in the first place, they've got horrible experiences and they got horrible fears. And so the prospect of reunification, in some case, unrealistic expectations of what that is like. And so to have a place where love is demonstrated is absolutely critical. Then you've got the experience of just simply an identity crisis of these young people, these children saying, well, really, who am I? And do I have any value, or am I just simply a problem? And so to be able to give them support and to find identity in Christ, love with Jesus, and to have an actual role model is pretty critical. And then you've got obviously the stability and safety concerns that you might expect would take place. So these are just just a brief overview of the kinds of issues that the children are experiencing. Therefore, the foster parents are experiencing that right along with them. And so to be able to be a support. So now what are those challenges that are facing foster parents? First of all, they're adjusting to a whole new situation. Matter of fact, I was speaking with a young couple just about a half an hour ago. They were fostering a young man, and it's just been a real challenge. And I said, well, how are you meeting that challenge? He said, well, the wonderful thing is that my husband's parents are also foster parents. And so to have them available to us about 6 blocks away has made all the difference. If we didn't have that support, we would not be able to continue being foster parents, because sometimes you just need a break. So adjusting to a new situation is a big deal. Secondly is the challenges of interacting with a faith family. With the state's desire to put them back with their biological family, you will have that interaction. How do you do that? That's a challenge. And that's a challenge that foster parents do it, and to be able to support them in a variety of ways. Then you've obviously got all the challenging behaviors. Most of the kids that are in in foster care have come through significant trauma, emotional, physical, all kinds of things. And so to be able to help those foster parents navigate their way through those challenging behaviors. Then encouraging education. We know that that's going to be a key to changing the foster children's lives over the next generation. So to be an encouragement to education and maybe part of that educational system in terms of helping them with their homework or whatever it may be. And then finally, the issues of reunification. I know when it was the end of our time that we were to be fostering the parents of these two young children, there was a real sense of loss that we felt. And to have support there that understood the loss and could help us through it would have been really helpful. And frankly, there wasn't anybody. And so we had to navigate that by ourselves. Well, if there had been a support group that could pray with us, that could be with us, that could encourage us, that would be good. So hopefully by outlining some of the challenges of foster children, some of the challenges of foster parents, you can begin to understand the value, the potential, and the actual value of wraparound grandparents that are operating from the strength of a legacy of love. And that is what it is that they are bringing. And so wraparound grandparents, as a part of a support system, was critically important to the fostering family and for them staying connected, perhaps to the foster children, but it also has a benefit for you and for me. So when we're partnering with, say, two other couples, and we agree together that we are going to be the support network for this particular foster family in our church, let's say, when we are doing that, we also have the sense of community ourselves. We have a chance to meet separately, to pray together, to pray about the family, about the issues that we see. And none of us are prepared to provide all of the support that's needed. So in fact, when you have a team of three, for example, that we have different capacities to be able to provide support in different ways. So offering extra support of love, extra support of stability, extra support of insight. And so the involvement helps foster children understand what meaningful relationships can even look like. One of the challenges that foster children have is that in fact they don't see models, or they don't have models of what a stable relationship looks like. They don't have an idea of what a relationship between an older person and a younger person, the value that can be for both, and then obviously for the parents themselves. There's a couple of other areas in addition to fostering that you might think about, where a wraparound concept, a support concept of a team of three couples that could support. There's a couple of other areas that are worth considering. One is the support of single moms or single dads. They need much of the same kind of support that a foster parent does. And so that may be another area that perhaps that you could reach out to and you could provide support to them. Next, in your church, to be able to be a champion of this idea of foster parenting and support is a critical one that does not exist in lots and lots of churches. And so you can be a new model, a champion perhaps, an instigator, an encourager of others to be able to do the same thing. As a matter of fact, it may very well be that you feel really called to provide that service, and then you get thinking and talking about it, and you realize there's 2 or 3 couples in your church that would be perfect foster parents, but they've never even thought of it. So to be able to have a resource, which we have at the webpage that I gave you earlier at retirementreformation.org/wraparound, that you could refer them to, that they could take a look at what does it mean to be a foster parent, and to know that if in fact they chose to step into that role, that you and your team or another team from your church would be there to support them. So when you think about this wraparound area, one of the thoughts that comes to me is that it's just a wonderful example of God's wraparound love that's available for all of us and therefore through all of us. So here's what I'd like to have you consider. First of all, in your prayer time, say, is this something that I can do? Secondly, is it something that I'm willing to explore and understand and perhaps step into in conjunction with a couple of other couples that can actually make a difference? And so if the answer to that is we should explore it, then in fact, please come to our website, go through that exploration, talk to us. We're happy to have a conversation with you so that in fact, we can then connect you with an organization in your area that can then help you walk through the next steps of actually finding that foster family. It may be that you don't need that organization, but that in fact in your church, there are already foster parents and they don't have any support. So there's another way to be able to step into the activity and the conversation. So hopefully the result of our time together this morning is to explain the background, to encourage you to take action, and to advise you of the support that is available in order for you to do that. And then as the Church of Jesus Christ, we can bless our community and we can impact the lives and the futures and the eternity of children, and we can leave a legacy that in fact will allow us when we stand before our Father at the last transition and to have him say, good and faithful servant. So thank you for the time together. We look forward to further conversations. And would you please pray for the ministry of the legacy of love and be engaged as God calls you to do it and to investigate and spread the word of the need and the opportunity. So God bless. Have a great day. God loves you, and so do we.